Right then, welcome to Ryan's Road podcast number 6. I believe we're on 6. So that's good going, eh? We're 5 in. This is nice. It's cool. It's gravy. Right, I've planned a bit this time. Hey, check me out. Nothing amazing. I've just done a bit. Okay? Baby steps. I've wrote some shit on a piece of paper. Good for me. One of the first things I have wrote down that I've decided to do is that because I've thought of this podcast as being for, people listen to the first one and then working their way through. I didn't overly consider people just kind of jumping in, number 5 or number 6, and they wouldn't have listened to the premise. So all I'm going to do is, at the start of each podcast, I'm just going to have a quick, couple minute wick over what the point of this podcast is. So anyone new dropping in, when we get to number 2000, let's be optimistic. Is that the right word for that? Yeah, optimistic. They're going to know what I'm on about. So, yes, this podcast, in my Instagram things when I post about it, I say it's based around mental health and psychology, because I don't really want to just say it's about life, but it is, because I think when I say, it's about mental health or psychology, people jump to the extreme, because we'll probably do a whole other podcast on that. But when you think of examples, people tend to jump to the extreme. So with mental health, people will go, that's for people that are like severely depressed or can't leave the house, or, the extreme of it. Like, no, right? As I worded it in my first podcast, this is more for just all people, everyone. So if you come into this podcast, I've worded it to customers of my trade, because I'm an electrician, and when I talk about it, and I end up saying, like, you're telling me you've never had a day where you feel, I've got this to do, and that, and this, or and that as well, and you went, it's too much, and you just get stressed, right? If you've never been stressed or been anxious about doing something new, or struggle communicating with your partner or a friend, things like that, then you're not human, because that's what we do as people, as humans. These are the things we deal with, and no fucker's perfect. And I like to word it as that this sort of stuff is like physical health. So physical health, you should maintain it. You should exercise regularly to some extent. Not to be hardcore ripped Brad Pitt Fight Club, but to maintain your health. Don't let it go. Same with your mental health. I don't believe in, you listen to a podcast about this sort of stuff, or you watch a film, you're like, boom, I'm going to think nothing but positive thoughts from now on. Like, no, you need to keep on top of it. You need that regular thing. And that's what I'm here for. With this podcast, I'm here to help you keep on track so that you have a good day. Great. I'm just here to top you up and remind you that you're doing great. And on the days when you're down, I'm here to remind you, like, you can be good. Here's what to do. Don't worry about it. We're all fucking people. Just crack on and keep doing you. You're okay. So that's the general idea, okay? That's what I'm trying to get across. Right. The next on my piece of paper, I've got episode content. So that's like my intro. Hey, that went too bad, like 4 odd minutes. We got through the point. I like it. So today, I want to go through the whole I'm not happy thing, right? So I realised this fucking years ago. Thankfully, I'm not being a dick, right? Because you do that. You go, like, I'm not happy with my life, people will say, or like, I'm not happy with this. And it always seems to be like this whole happiness thing is the goal. And because it's basically fucking unachievable, everyone gets fucking depressed about it, don't they? Because it's not realistic, it's not a thing. And here's my point. You don't say, I've got an angry life, do you? Right, bear with me. You say, I was angry that day. I was angry that moment. I was angry when he or she said, right? It's an emotion at that time. Yeah? For that period. That's what fucking happiness is. I was happy when she said this. I was happy when we did that. I was happy watching that or eating this. It's an emotion felt in the moment. Okay? That's what fucking happiness is. Stop defining it as a lifestyle. Okay? Happiness is not a lifestyle. Do you know what is a lifestyle? Contentment. That's what we want to aim for. Contentment, being content, being okay. You don't have to be smiling, balls off the walls, jizzing everywhere, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, fucking 12 months of the year. No, okay? Because we're human. Because when you think that you have to be like that, on the days you have a lower day or a down day, You fucking hate yourself then because you're like, oh, I'm meant to be happy. Why can't I be happy? Because you're not happy today. Fuck it. It's a bad day. You struggle through your bad day, but you move on to the next day and you battle on with it. Right? Stop thinking like that. You got to think it's okay. You'll see the phrase sometimes, like, it's okay to be okay. Right? And like any kind of phrase, it loses all meaning when it becomes popular. It's okay to be okay. But it's a big thing. That's why I'm talking about it right now, because it's along the same kind of lines. So you want to be content, right? The general way for being content is to know that you're moving forward. Now, is a nice example with this, with rats. Check me out. I've got this from Jordan Peterson's new book, and I'm putting it in here for you. Okay. Recommend that. Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life. His new book is 12 More Rules for Life. I love it. It's great. Go give it a read. That's right. Apparently, I'm going off what he said, but I'm taking it as gospel, and it makes sense. With rats, right? Apparently, if you get a bigger rat and a smaller rat, chuck them together, they'll do the whole alpha male thing to start with, right? They'll have a proper scrap until they know who's the boss. It's going to be the bigger rat. Once that's done, they will continue to play fight regularly, okay? Because it's part of like interacting. I can't go into why, but basically they'll play fight. And if the bigger rat doesn't let the smaller rat win a certain percentage of the time, the smaller rat won't play with the bigger one. It will get bored and it will fuck off, and then the bigger rat's gonna have no one to play with. Okay? Bear with me on this, okay? Just go with it. So it's in the bigger rat's interest to let the little one win occasionally to keep the game going. I actually introduced this to my kids playing on the Xbox because they're 4 and 5, my eldest 2. I'm going to go slip into parenting because it's a good example. So they've been playing Power Rangers, and my 5-year-old keeps kicking my 4-year-old's ass. So I get the old whinging, Dad, he's beating me. So obviously he's whinging, so then he don't want to play. So I had a chat with my 5-year-old, and I was like, look, do you prefer playing on your own, or do you prefer playing with your brother? So you got someone to actually play with on the game. He's like, well, duh, I prefer playing with my brother. I'm like, right, if you keep kicking his ass, he ain't going to want to play anymore. You're going to be playing on your own. So it's in your interest, maybe if you win 3 times, let him win on the 4th one. Because then it will keep him playing. He's happier, and then you're happier, and you can go on like that. Getting away from the rat examples and me being a parent, the general thing is it's that level of difficulty. So if you've got, again we use games, if you get a game, let's say you get a new game and your mates ask you like, what was it like? Use a game, like just something with difficulty in, right? Ask you how it was. I know for people that don't play games, a new piece of equipment, whether it's exercise or just go with the analogy, will you? Right, how was that thing? How was that game or that thing you bought? It's too difficult. It's too hard. That game's too hard. It's shit. That thing was too hard to put together. It's shit. Yeah, too hard to figure out. It's crap. If it's too hard, we don't like it. Right? Again, game or whatever. How's that new game? Oh, it's shit. It's like, I finished it in like an hour. It's crap. It's like, see how I'm touched on the extreme thing again. That's another interesting thing. So again, it's that thing of, if it's too fucking hard, we don't want to do it. Fuck that. I know you're at your job and you get given some task. Can you go empty all them bins? There's like 200 bins. Fuck that. It's too difficult. It's too much there. Too much expectation. No. It's one bin. It's like, well, I'll do that and I'm bored again. Great. You got to get in the middle. Got to get in the middle. Right? Because if it's just enough, you got to have enough to keep you interested. If it's like, well, this is hard, but I think I can. It's a challenge, yeah. So if it's like, well, okay, it's just I can figure out putting this together. And once you've put it together, it was just difficult enough for you to feel gratified. I managed to put that together. Even when your wife says, "Did you read the instructions?" and you're like, "No," and then they kind of give you a face palm and look at you. Or the game, it's like, I completed that game, and you'd say it like it's been an achievement. I completed that game. You wouldn't say that about a game that was too hard. Actually, yeah, you probably would if it was fucking solid. You'd be even more achieved if you managed to persevere. But yeah, you get the idea. So right, that's what we're doing with life, okay? You're saying, I haven't got a happy life. saying happy life is that really difficult game, that really difficult thing that's bullshit. It is too difficult to have a happy life. It's too much to obtain, so we give up on it and then we feel shit. Okay? And then giving up completely and just kind of plodding along, that's boring. It's too easy. There's not enough challenge there. There's not enough going on. It's the same shit every day, every year. And they're the people that end up living 20, 30, 40 years or whatever and get to that point and it's like, I've worked at that same job that I haven't really fucking liked for this long, and you just feel like you wasted your fucking life and it's bullshit. So what we need to try and do is get that level of difficulty with our lives in the middle. Okay? This is where things like negative thoughts and self-doubt and all that crap kind of come in, because then that hinders you from, because you've probably spent so long being so negative and not aiming for don't want to aim for the happy life, that's too good for me. You're then going to kind of tell yourself that, but if I move forward to do this, maybe if I start learning this new skill, you won't do that, you're too shit. So you get all the negative thoughts and crap building in, but that's what you want to do, right? Fuck the happy life banner title. Okay, fuck that. You want to be content. You want a content life. And the way we get a content life is being in that middle band where we're happy. Not happy. See, check me out. Oh, fuck myself over there. Where we're content with the amount of challenge we're getting. So if it's things like your job and your life and whatnot, you really need to step back and assess. Okay, you really need to stand back and look and go. Normally, the main things are relationship and work. Friendships, family can start to wiggle in there. Obviously, if you've got kids or not, get there. But we'll go with relationship and work. They're two big things. You go to work every day. People undermine that and how important it is. You go to fucking work every bastard day. Maybe apart from weekends, depending on your split, you might work nights and whatnot. Piss off with your technicalities. You go to work a lot. If you're not happy at work, that's a big percentage of your life. You ain't happy, content. Fuck me, I'm slipping. That's a big percentage that's just negative crap. And then if you're getting home and your relationship's breaking down or it's shit, you're not content with how much difficulty there is there, then again, you ain't going to be happy. So step back, look at your shit, okay? A lot of people don't do this. You're too busy plodding along with you every fucking day. Maybe every now and then going, oh, I ain't got a happy life. Right, I'm depressed. Fuck this. Right. So you take a step back. Do it one thing at a time, okay? Do it incrementally. I do probably want to do a separate podcast on this because there's a amount of things I could spur off onto. The small example of the incremental thing, my friend that I do my fitness channel with, well, he's my training partner for my fitness channel. He'd quit drinking a couple of months back, which I'm going to be getting him on for to talk about addiction. He was battling that, and he kept saying about he wants to start quitting smoking. And ages ago, the whole time I've been saying to him, one thing at a time, just concentrate on the fucking drinking, mate. Like, don't pile too much on yourself. Again, I'll get more in depth in a separate podcast about this. Just give this example for now. But recently, it's gone really well. It's been a good while. I mentioned he's smoking. I was like, well, how many fags do you have a day? I think he said about 15. So at first, after me going, Jesus Christ, fucking hell, that's a lot. I said, right, break me down a general routine of your day when you have your fags. Right, now one of them was in the middle of the day when he's at work. I'm like, he ain't going to get rid of that, because not only is that a fag, it's a 10-minute break away from the job that he fucking hates. So he's going to be even more reluctant to stop that one. But I knew that he has a fag in the car before he comes into my garden to exercise. I know he likes exercising. So I was like, how about you start with that? Just that one. Don't try and quit smoking this week. Stop having that one fag, one cigarette, whatever country you listen in. Stop having that one cigarette in the morning before you come here, that one, and try and eradicate that over the next 2-3 weeks. Once that's routine and you've got rid of that one, pick another one out of your routine that you know you have. Incremental. Right, coming back. You're looking at your life, okay? So you're like, I'm not happy with my life, but you want to aim for being content. You're like, okay, what can I change just to so I'm happy with the challenges in my life? You step back, you look, and if you look and go, well, I fucking hate my job, the missus or boyfriend's always pissing me off, and then so you can look, and then you start to get overwhelmed. It's like, whoa, pause it, pick one. Just pick one, calm the fuck down. If it's your job, you're going to look at ways that who you could talk to at your job or anything like that. Is there ways of changing your current job within the job? Is there another job role within that company or business you're working with? You know, we really think about what you'd want to achieve. Where do you want to get to? If you don't want to keep plodding along doing the same fucking thing. If there's nothing within that business or within that job role there, and it has to be a completely separate thing, start looking at the exit strategy. What do you want to do? What would be nice to work at? Where would be nice to work? What would you like to do at? Be fucking realistic with it, okay? Again, if you set it too high, it's too difficult and you won't work towards it. It's that really hard game that's set on bloody legendary mode and you can't fucking do it. Right. Aim for something realistic and achievable. And then just plan your way on how to get to there. Again, I'm going to go into more detail with a separate podcast. So yes, in this podcast, I'm trying to keep them a bit more short because I've rambled on a bit in my last couple. Keep them a bit shorter and sweeter. Just classic, it's okay to be okay. Aim for contentment. You don't need to be happy all the bastard time. Okay? So on the days that you're not happy or you're not content, that's okay. It's okay to feel shit. It's okay to have overwhelmed that particular day. If I have to give you an example, more recently for me, it's like 2 days ago, 3. So it's Saturday today, I believe it was Thursday. I won't go on too long with this. In my work, being self-employed, obviously if I'm not working I ain't getting money. The past 4 or 5 weeks, I've had a right string of shit. So I had a week where I hurt my hand, so I lost a few days' work. The following week, I think, was when I hurt my back, so I lost a few days' work. Then I was sick, so I lost a few days' work. The week before this week, I had a cold, so I had to give my customer, because of all this COVID crap, just letting her, like, I'm fine to work. I feel fine. It's just, I'm a bit bungy, throat's a bit sore, da-da-da. Are you happy for me to still come? They said, we'd rather rebook, so I lost 2 days that week. Right, okay, so I managed to get through. And this week, on the Wednesday, my van starts making a funny noise. And I'm like, I used to be a mechanic, so I'm like, straight to the garage. I ain't riding this out and letting the whole thing blow up and need to buy a whole new van. So straight to the garage, drop it off. It was there Thursday, Friday. They still haven't had time to do it. It's probably going to be Monday. So it's Thursday that I knew I didn't have my van because of the Wednesday. And then Thursday morning, I pulled my back in my workout, which I talk about in my fitness vlog. So I'm like, pull me back again, because I was even considering using the wife's car to get to work. But then I pulled me back. And it hit me a bit then, like, give me a break. Like the weakness crept in. The dark thoughts of, why me? Why is life so hard? Why has it got to do it every week for the past how many bloody weeks? So literally, as of today, I have zero. As of today, or even yesterday, I've got zero money in my business account, and I've got zero money in my personal bank account. Literally, like zero. No overdraft or anything. I've got £0. Went out for a walk today, and my friend, again, training buddy, he bought us a cup of tea from the cafe, because I couldn't afford that. It's not too dire, because I've got work booked. Once I get my van back, I've got jobs to go to and start earning money again. So yeah, I'm like, that's built up. Why me? Ugh, no money. And I've hurt me back again. So I did have about a morning's worth of just negative crap. And I think even the wife, it was probably more in the evening, and even the wife was on about me getting here to do my podcast. I was like, nah, I weren't in the right place to get in here and talk good to people. But at the same time, even when I was at my darkest, like the one point when I was literally sat on the floor in the kitchen, leaning up the washing machine with my head in my hands, even when I was at my worst point then, I think that lasted about 2 minutes, because the wife had done dinner. She tried to hug me, which is really hard for her, because she's got a whole list of her own personal mental issues that she's trying to push through, and hugging me when I'm upset is a thing we're trying to work on. But after she hugged me, she saw I was still upset, so that made her give up. She went off into the lounge. So I'm like, so that in that time I'm telling myself, like, there's fuck all I can control about this, so why bother worrying about it? I can only control what I can control. Just fucking accept it, get on with it. Your wife's made you dinner, it's going to go cold, she's upset. So literally about 2 minutes after that, I walked in the lounge and I was just me, straight face, fine, and I weren't pretending to be okay. I was like, just snapped out of it. Stop being a dick. Like, fuck this shit. Just do what you can do. get on with it. And then, yeah, I was fine. But then some people will get down about them days like that. They felt like, I'd fuck that, man. I had a bad afternoon. Eat shit. I'm not superhuman. I'm not Superman. I have bad days. It took a few weeks for that to accumulate on me. Like, some people will just do that just as soon as the van broke and like completely flip their shit. This is what I meant when I've mentioned in my first podcast about how people have different levels. So it's took that much over the passing weeks for it to build up on me, for me to finally think, ugh, like, why me? But I'm going to, like I say, that'll be a separate podcast because I've got a whole other thing about that. So yeah, I love saying so, yeah, don't I? Let's fuck the happiness in the arse. Let's say, I want to be content, okay, man? I want to be okay. It's alright. It doesn't matter that I'm not a fucking millionaire. I've got the best job in the world. But you want to feel like you're moving forward, okay? If you feel like you're stuck in the same fucking place and you know that if you continue doing what you're doing, nothing will improve. Your relationship, your work, whatever that you're unhappy with in your life, if you know for a fact that if you continue doing what you're doing day in, day out for the next how many months and years, it will not change, that is pretty much the definition of chaos. It's hell. Okay? Feeling no improvement is the blackest fucking hole you can sit in. Okay? And you need that hand grasping on the ledge. You need to see that dark hole and you need to see a hand reaching out. And the only way you're going to see that is that hand is forward momentum. It's that little bit of progress. So if your life is like that and it's just full of all them just crap when you're like, nothing's going to get better, step back, just try and step away from it. And when I say step away from it, that's all the emotions. So if you stood on a wall and every brick has got shit like negative thoughts, self-doubt, this, baggage, childhood problems, all these little things wrote on that brick wall and you're standing on top of it, just jump off the wall and take 2 steps back and just so you can see it away from it instead of being on it, okay? Because that will give you some perspective to look at your life and think of where you can navigate what. And just pick one thing. Pick the one thing. And all you've got to do is something that you can then tell yourself, right, okay, if I keep doing that every day, it's going to get better. If you can think that, then that's not the black hole. That's the black hole with a hand reaching out. Okay? And that's much, much better than sitting there knowing for a fact that your life will not move without some sort of change. Okay? So let's make that little change that will help you start moving forward towards being content, so that you're content with the fact you're moving forward towards something happy, maybe. Yeah. I think we'll leave it there. That's a nice one. I think I got through the point I wanted to. Going back to my sheet, in brackets, episode content. My next bit on my sheet says outro. Yeah, that's right. I'm doing beginning, middle, and end, bitch. This is a fucking story podcast. Check me out. For the YouTube guys, I'm going to literally read from a piece of paper now. So if you see my focus move, I'm sorry. Okay? So, outro is the whole slogan I'm going with on my Instagram is body and mind, I got you covered. Body and mind, I have you covered. I've got it locked down, right? Mind, I'm here, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to your people, talking at you, I'm trying to help, okay? Help you deal with this shit in your head, which I spoke to at the start, helping you navigate your lives, okay? A huge factor on that is your physical health, okay? I'll always mention this at the end. When I decided to start my exercising again, which again is for my fitness channel, I messaged my best friend because he was struggling with his drinking. I was struggling with wanting to be a better parent, a better husband, just better in life, moving towards something. I was in that point, like I said, moving forward, shit weren't going to change. So I literally messaged him saying, we both need a change, okay? Get your ass here Monday morning, we're going to start exercising, okay? He'll tell you himself when I get him on here, but he himself has said nothing in his life has ever helped apart from the physical side of things, the exercise, right? So with my fitness channel, with my vlogs and my tutorials, I'm trying to show people that they can maintain, okay? They don't need to be ripped. They don't need to be Brad Pitt Fight Club, okay? I'm always going to use that example because I like it. You haven't got to do that. You've just got to maintain it, okay? And you don't have to go to a gym with all these cunts staring at you and looking at you. And even if they're not, you feel like they are. So even if you look around and everyone fuckers looking in a different direction, you're thinking, they're looking at me. They're judging me because I'm not as good as them. Or thinking I can't do it. Like, whether you're fat, thin or bloody podgy, don't matter. It's all in your head. And you're going to be worrying about what these people fucking think. So, fuck it. You don't have to go to a gym, so don't worry about it. Okay? You don't have to spend the money, the 30 to 40, 50 pounds. Yeah, pounds, if you're listening in US dollars. I don't know, currencies, monies. Yeah, you have to do that. You can do it from home, okay? Because you don't need weights. Weightlifting, as far as I'm aware, was created for bodybuilding, body sculpting. You know, when you see them when they're all oiled up and they've got all the ripply bits and everything, and they're there and doing all the poses. That's what weights were designed for, in your typical fashion, because you can sculpt your body. I'm not against weight completely. Like, I like the functional stuff with weight, kettlebell swings, shit like that. That's cool. What I'm getting at is you can do it all from home, and I do it with bodyweight training or calisthenics. Okay, you can do it from home. You do it mainly with, you can have a door frame pull-up bar and a set of gymnastics rings, and that'll help you get through most of the progressions you need towards doing a pull-up. So if you can get to a routine of just doing pull-ups, dips, push-ups and leg raises and smashing that every morning with 10 minutes of jogging on the spot and jumping up and down at the start, boom, done. Just do that every day. Fucking fine. And you can do it from home, and it's not unachievable. I'm over 30, I've got 3 kids, I'm self-employed, I'm bloody podcasting, I'm vlogging, I'm YouTubing, and I do that every morning for an hour. I do 10-minute cardio, and I do 30 to 40-minute strength training, okay? That will help you maintain, but at the same time, you can build muscle, you can sculpt if you want to with body weight training, but it's all about the movements, not your body weight. Quick example, you get to weighted pull-ups. Once you can do a shit ton, like I got to doing 17 reps of pull-ups, so I've started adding 8 kilogram onto me pull-ups because I'm enjoying it, but I know that I'm gonna have to, I've never been that bothered about being aesthetic, but I know I'm gonna have to reach that stage where I can do like handstand push-ups and I've got a bloody 8-pack and ripples coming out my arse, so that people will pay attention to me, so that then they will go back through my vlogs and see that I was a normal guy, still am. I'm a normal guy with a family and a job, and I've fucking done it. I'm not some one that's just like, 19, single, fucking all the time in the world, living with mum and dad. Nothing against those people, but it's hard to relate to those people when you're in like a position like mine, because it's easy to look and go, mate, you've got loads of time, you ain't got no kids or any dependencies or anything, so how can I achieve what you've achieved? So I want those people that feel like that to be able to look at me and go, shit, well if he can do it, so can I. I did skip over a little bit, see, I'm getting used to this whole outro thing. Importance of exercise on mental health. Better mood, anxiety control, helps you sleep, develop skills, reaching goals, boost your self-esteem, concentrate better, reduce depression, reduce negative mood, cognitive function is better, you get feel-good hormones, apparently like serotonin and dopamine. Don't quote me on that, but give it a Google. I did write it down, I meant to Google that a bit more. I'll polish this outro, I promise. So the last little example for the importance of physical health for your mental health that I like to always give as an example from being a parent is when I weren't exercising, I was really struggling with like patience with my 3 toddlers, because they're 3 toddlers. But it'd be in the morning and I'd always start the day with my 2-year-old literally bashing heads with me. So that's a great way to start your day. But then it's just all the daft stuff of them arguing and bickering in between shit. And it's like, why can't you just get along? It's the morning, piss off. That kind of crap. I know, because I've done it before, and that's why I started again. When I exercise in the morning, I get back in the house, and mate, I'm fucking Superman. Like, no word of a lie. Shit don't get to me. I'm like, hey, son, calm down, chill. You do this, you do that. You stop playing with that toy. You're only doing that to wind your brother up. If you do that, you're going to get a warning. Like, instead of being, shouting. same again. I can help the wife with her mental struggles because I'm calm and I'm not really in the whole of mine. I like the one example from the other week, I think I put in the last podcast. I come in, Mrs. Piss, she slaps the telly. Hey, Dougie's on the telly. And I'm like, hey, wife, don't go around slapping Dougie. Fuck's sake. What did he do to you? I couldn't have been like that if I didn't exercise, because I'd just be in my own stress bubble. So, way important, okay? You need to do some form of exercise for your mental health. Just go for a little run if you what's the word I'm thinking of? Self-conscious going for a run because you're like, I don't want people to see me running. Fucking stand on the spot and just jog on the spot. If you're too big, lift your heels. If you're really too big, sit in a chair and lift your arms up and down. I can't wait to get my other best mate on here when he's finished, because he's a big guy and it won't hurt him, me saying it. He's a big guy and he's had a lot of mental struggles over the years with his circumstances, with his family and whatnot. And from me and my friend doing our workouts in the morning, he's doing little things. He's doing little weights and he's just doing raising his arms and shit like that. But there's ways, if you feel like you're too big, there's shit you can do, okay? You just have to lower the intensity so you don't keel over. You can't do bent over rows because you're going to fall over. Yeah, there's stuff you can do. There's nothing you can do. The way I always like to think about it is that whatever position you are in life, you think of how long humans have been around. I doubt you're in that much of a unique position. There's probably been someone that's been in the same position, if not similar. And then there's fucking Google. Mate, Google too fat to exercise and you'll find something. Google's great for shit like that. Whenever you're like, oh no, because it's me and I'm like this, fucking Google it. Right, I'm going to cut it there because I'm starting to waffle. We've done the intro, what the podcast is about. I've went through my episode content, check me out. I've done a sloppy fucking outro, I ain't going to lie, I've waffled too much. I'm going to fucking narrow that down for you. And yeah, so I need to touch on that stuff, don't I? On Instagram, it's Ryans.road. On Facebook, it's Ryan's Road. And then on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, Ryan's Road Podcast, in the description is the links to me, my family channel, and my fitness channel. And my music channel is there as well, if you want to fade into that, but that's not too big a thing. I like the family channel because it just shows the point of, I'm a family man, and I'm doing all this. So again, just so people can kind of relate. So, yes, and I want to bring back the thing I said at the end of my first ever podcast. That I'm forgetting the words for. Don't be afraid. Deal with the day. Okay? Don't wake up in the morning and think, I've got today. Don't be scared of it, okay? You ain't got to be happy about it. Remember that happiness bullshit, okay? Just deal with it. Don't be afraid. Deal with the day. Right, I love you all. Thanks for watching. Comments as always. Happy to receive comments. If there's anything I'm hitting on that you're liking, tell me. If there's anything I'm hitting on that you don't like, tell me. Anything you want to ask me. Even if you just want to tell me I've got a big nose. Okay? Right. I'll talk to you next week. Don't be afraid. Deal with the day.